Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So I thought it would be a great opportunity today just to sit down and answer a whole bunch of your questions. I get all sorts of questions, mostly related to life in Germany, New Zealand culture, raising bilingual kids, learning the German language myself, but I also get other questions related to fashion and lifestyle. So I thought I would just sit down and answer just a whole bunch of questions. So before I get into that, I would like to give a huge thanks to today's sponsor, Vivaia. I have been in love with Vivaia shoes for the longest time now, and I am so excited to be partnering with them and helping to spread their wonderful message of sustainability. Vivaia is an online footwear brand specializing in sustainable handcrafted shoes made out of recycled materials. Known for its minimalistic aesthetic, Vivaia is committed to creating stylish, comfortable designs that are also eco-friendly and responsible. Vivaia shoes are beautifully crafted using a variety of environmentally friendly materials to help minimize our carbon footprint. Each pair of their shoes are actually the reincarnation of 6 plastic bottles that come from city waste in the ocean. So I was able to pick out 2 pairs of Vivaia shoes. I am absolutely thrilled with the ones that I chose. I picked out the Aria 5 degree pointed toe flats in cream ivory. They also come in a variety of fabulous colors. I chose this color because I thought it would match with so many of my outfits. These are so gorgeous. I love how classic and timeless they look. The quality is amazing. They are super flexible and bendy. And I think what I love most about these shoes is the fact that they are so comfortable and cushiony. Probably the most comfortable shoes I have ever owned. I also picked out the Nina square toe loafers in black. These are just such a stylish, classy design. Once again, unbelievably comfortable, breathable, just so lovely, and I think these are going to be a staple in my wardrobe. These will also be a really great pair of shoes for traveling just because they're so comfortable and light. Vivaia's 2nd anniversary is underway, so go follow the Instagram for more info. Also, from the 4th to the 10th of June, you can enjoy a 15% discount off 2 full price pairs of shoes. Plus, if you spend over €180, you will receive a free pair of rainbow insoles. Make sure you use my discount code EmilyVivaia. Okay guys, so let's get into the questions. I am going to be looking down at my phone because that's where all my questions are. In no particular order. One of the questions that I received was, what is the most difficult thing about living in Germany? And this is an easy one. By far the most difficult thing about living in Germany is the fact that it is a million trillion miles away from my homeland, away from New Zealand. But I think that's a pretty obvious one. I love living in Germany. I feel very much at home here, and it did take me a long time to get to that point. But I can finally say that I feel really comfortable here, and I love living here, and I love my life in Germany. And saying that, there will always be this ache in my heart for New Zealand, and it is never ever going to go away, and I don't think it's ever going to get easier, and that's just the price that I've had to pay for moving here and starting my life here in Germany and starting a family, you know, marrying a German-Polish man and starting my life in Germany. And I have to accept that. I have accepted that, but in saying that, it's not easy, and it never will be easy. But I would do it a million times over for the beautiful blessings that I have in my life. So I've got a couple of language questions in relation to Amelia. So the first one, can Amelia read and write in English too? That's actually a really good question. So for those of you who don't already know, my daughter Amelia is 9 and she is in the 3rd grade. So typically here in Germany, children first start learning to read and write when they are around the age of 6, and that's usually in the 1st grade. Sometimes parents will teach the children a little bit earlier. It just depends on the child, but there is definitely not a lot of pressure for academics before school starts. So I always imagined that when Amelia first started school, I would be teaching her how to read and write in English, and she would be learning to read and write in German at school, but it just didn't quite work like that. She was not interested at all in learning to read and write in English. She just didn't want to do it. I tried really hard, and I got to the point where I was like, I'm not putting pressure on her to read and write in English if she doesn't want to. And so she was just interested in learning to read and write in German initially. So I just thought, okay, if she doesn't want to do this, I'm not going to put any pressure on her. I would just read to her like storybooks in English, and I would just kind of encourage, you know, reading and writing sort of subtly through play or through conversation and that type of thing. but I wasn't going to force something on her that she wasn't interested in. And so now that she is in the 3rd grade, she is learning English at school. Well, learning English, she can already speak English fluently. And she is learning also how to read and write slowly in English. And now she is showing an interest. And the funny thing is, she has clicked onto it very, very quickly. Her reading and writing level in German is definitely much better than it is in English right now, but I can see that she's showing an interest and she is just slowly picking it up. And I do believe that she has an advantage because she can speak English fluently, and so that's probably the reason why she is picking it up really quickly. So I'm so happy that she's finally showing an interest in reading and writing in English. She's not reading whole books in English yet. She's like reading little comic books, and if she draws a picture, she might write a little caption in English underneath. She might read something out in one of Luca's like baby books. And I think that's a really, really great start. All children are just so different. They have different interests, they develop differently at different paces, and bilingual children are no exception. I actually have a friend who is also raising bilingual children, and her son learnt to read and write in English before he learnt to read and write in German, and he learnt this before he even started school. It absolutely amazed me, and she was just kind of following his lead. She saw that he was very interested in reading and she really encouraged it, and so he learnt to read in English before he started school, which is incredible. That wasn't the case for Amelia because she had other interests. She is so creative. She loves arts and crafts and design and that type of thing, and that's where she puts all of her energy. And so learning to read and write, especially like formally, like us sitting down and me teaching her to read and write, it's just something she's not, I don't know, it just didn't come naturally for us. So I'm just following Amelia's lead, and I know eventually she will catch up. So the next question, also an Amelia language related question: how is Amelia's English lessons going in school? So honestly, Amelia does not talk a lot about her English lessons in school. She does not share a lot with me. I don't know why. I ask her lots of questions like, how is English class? Is it easy for you? Or is it fun? Is it boring? And she just doesn't really give me a lot of feedback. So in the 3rd grade, as I mentioned, German children start to learn English in class. She has 2 English lessons a week in school. And what actually surprised me is that her teacher did not know that she could speak English fluently for such a long time, for months and months, because Amelia didn't tell her, and we didn't tell her either. I actually hadn't met her teacher at that point. Only Rob had spoken with her and he hadn't mentioned it. Amelia hadn't mentioned it, so she had absolutely no idea. She doesn't want all the other kids to know how great she is at English. She would rather just kind of stand in the background and just not be the center of attention. I would say she is confident, but she has more of a quiet confidence about her. She doesn't need to be the center of attention. And so I can imagine in class she just would not have participated a lot. She would have just kind of tried to blend in a little bit with the other kids. And I said to her, Amelia, don't worry, you can let the teacher know that you can speak English. It's okay that she knows, and it's not something to be ashamed of, and it's something to be proud of. She said, no, it's okay. She actually told me that there's a boy in her class who lived in the United States for a couple of years, and she said that he speaks amazing English and he is like really loud in class and answers all of the questions. I think maybe she found it a little bit intimidating. She might have been put off by the fact that this boy is just super confident and out there, and she also told me that he has an American accent when he speaks, and Amelia obviously doesn't have an American accent. Her English is more influenced by Kiwi English, New Zealand English, and so maybe she felt embarrassed about her accent. I actually don't know why she wasn't participating much in class. If she feels comfortable just sort of sitting back and observing the lesson and taking it all in, then that's absolutely fine. I do think it's important that her teacher knows that she can understand everything and she is fluent. I really do not know what goes on in English class. Whenever she gets English homework, it's super easy for her. She gets it done in like 2 seconds. very, very basic English. I would like to be a fly on the wall in her English class, that's for sure. Next question. How excited on a scale of 100 to 100 are you about going to New Zealand? Woo! I am beyond excited, but I'll have to say, like, if I was to put it on a scale, I think I would be 98% excited. So I'm mostly excited, and then the last 2% is kind of like anxious. I'm anxious about flying with 3 children. Also during this time there's just so much uncertainty in regards to the pandemic and are we actually going to be able to go and all of that. Next question. Okay, this one is related. Are you worried about reverse culture shock when you go to New Zealand? And the answer is I am a little bit worried, to be honest. I have not been in New Zealand for so many years now, and I know it's going to be a bit of an adjustment to slip into Kiwi mode again. I've definitely experienced reverse culture shock every single time that I have travelled back to New Zealand after being in Germany for like a year or 2 years, and then I'll go to New Zealand and it takes me a while to get into Kiwi mode. I remember on one of my trips to New Zealand, I can't remember which one it was, but I went to the supermarket, I think it was in the first few days of arriving in New Zealand, and I accidentally bumped into somebody and I said, Entschuldigung. That person looked at me like I was bat crazy. And I can understand why, because most New Zealanders are not familiar with the German language, so they were like, what is this crazy, crazy lady saying to me? Entschuldigung. I soon clicked, like, oh my god, I'm not in Germany anymore. But the person who I brushed past would have thought I was insane. Also the culture, just the friendliness of the people and the openness and all of that kind of thing, it definitely always takes me a while to get used to it again, and just being super, super polite and sugarcoating everything. I do find that after living in Germany, I am a little bit more blunt and honest, and you know, I don't sugarcoat things as much as New Zealanders do. And so yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that. It'll be fine. Like, I'm a New Zealander. I have lived in New Zealand the majority of my life, so it's not going to take long to get back into Kiwi mode. But initially, the initial first hours, days, I know I'm going to struggle a little bit. And also, like, my kids are super German in so many ways, and yeah, Amelia's very brutally honest in a sweet way, you know, like she doesn't mean to be, like she never does it in a rude way, but she's a German kid, and maybe, I don't know, let's see how Kiwis take her honesty. Okay, tips for learning / speaking German. Native English speaker here with a German boyfriend. Well, how long do you have? My biggest advice is to not care what anyone thinks. Do not care how you sound. Do not worry about sounding silly. Just take it one step at a time. You're not going to be amazing overnight. Everybody learning a language has to start somewhere. My biggest mistake at the very beginning when I first started learning German was worrying about what people thought of me, and also thinking that learning German was in the too hard basket and I could never do it. Like, it was impossible for me to be able to speak German, which is known to be a very difficult language. And it's not true. So just get all of those thoughts out of your head, those negative thoughts, because you can do it, and you're not going to be amazing overnight, but you have to start somewhere. Everybody learning a language has to start somewhere. And so the majority of Germans are very kind and encouraging and understanding when you are learning their language. They think it's awesome that you are making an effort to speak German. And so it's all in your mind, the worry and the embarrassment and that type of thing, because no one else really cares. And you have to remember that, like, no one cares, and you have to kind of be selfish about it and take opportunities to try and speak as much German as you can. And saying that before you can speak, you need to learn some basic grammar and vocabulary. So I highly recommend you go into a German language school or doing an online course. There are a lot that I can recommend. If you want to message me privately, I can send you a list of really great resources for learning German. So good luck with your German language journey. You're going to be awesome, and just think of me. I struggled so much at the beginning. You can do it, and just go for it. It is such an awesome feeling when you finally get to the point where you can actually have a conversation in German and you actually understand what's going on. It's a game changer, so go for it. So anyway guys, I am going to wrap this up here. I actually have a lot more questions that I would love to answer, but I'm running out of time, so I'm going to save them for a future video. I also just wanted to remind you that if you are interested in checking out Vivaia and supporting an ethical, sustainable shoe line, they have the most beautiful shoes. I will leave a link to their website in my description below. Thank you so much for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel. I know that so many of you who watch my videos are not actually subscribed, so if you would consider subscribing, that would mean so much to me. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!